have two programs that we're running. The Westchester Green Business Challenge we have been running since 2009. It is also a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so we're out there looking for grants, the same as many of you. It's a free program. It's an umbrella program. It's available to any company, organization, nonprofit, home-based business in the county. So it's really, there's just no reason not to be in the challenge. So it's a public-private partnership between the county and the Business Council, which we already mentioned. We have 275 very diverse member organizations. If you go on our website, you can see all of them, their logos, contact information is on there. It's a great, very robust web-based program, and there's an interactive scorecard right on the website. So you can register right on the spot, and then you can start going through your scorecard and inputting information on how you're doing, you know, what you're doing related to the areas, you know, of organizational commitment, energy, materials management, waste and purchasing, water, transportation, and land use. Your scorecard is confidential. No one sees it except our team. And the only time that we ever use the scores from the scorecard is at our annual recognition event where we announce, you know, the top tier winners. But it's really a tool for you to just keep on improving your own program. So we run educational programs such as this. We run a fabulous annual recognition event each June, and the intention is for you to save money, improve the environment, and get recognized. These are just some of the active participants. When we say active, that means they have submitted their scorecard year after year. So you might see yourself on here. Pretty impressive group, very diverse group, as you can see, and there are more. So the second program is Westchester Green Business Certified. So we piloted the program in January of this year with 18 organizations, and we just started phase 2 a few weeks ago with another 15 organizations, which you'll see in a moment. So it's a membership program. It is fee-based. It's very reasonable. A lot of you in this room are in it. And it's really for those organizations that are ready to take it to the next level. So that we really developed it because we had sort of hit a plateau with the challenge, and we knew that a lot of companies were just chomping at the bit to move on and to get recognized. So it's based on policy, action, and performance. And again, same exact categories as the challenge: organizational commitment, energy, materials management, transportation, water, and land use. We give very specific tools, training, and support, and all of our organizations are measuring their greenhouse gas emissions, doing their inventories, involving all of their staff in the program, stakeholders. So it's very, you can learn all about it on the website, which I will share with you. Very cool part about it is that we do have classes, so we want our groups and the organizations that are in each class are collaborating with each other. And we're actually going to do a program where both groups come together and can help each other out. It is also a long-term relationship, so it's not like a boom, you get certified, you're out. You know, we look at this as it's a membership program. We want our companies to be with us every single year from now and forever. And so that's really important point. So we have 3 certified so far: Diamond Properties, Rexon, and the Blue Pig Ice Cream Store. If you've never been there, you need to go. And others are very, very close.
Could you tell us a little about the process?
Sure. I'll leave that screen up just right now so you can just stare at who are our pilot companies. So the process is, you know, a company will come in. Did you just ask that?
I know everybody wants to know.
Yeah. Well, many in here are in it. So we have a kickoff event around organizational commitment because we feel that that's one that's in person that we need to talk to everybody about. If there's not buy-in from the top of the organization, then there's really no going forward with it. So we have that program, and then we do trainings, recorded webinars on all of the different topics, on energy, on waste, on water, We have an application and checklist with 190,
90 required, 119.
90 required and
Voluntary.
120 actions that, and we don't expect anybody to do, you know, you can have a year, it can take 2 years, you can 6 months, whatever it takes, the time that you need in order to get through the program. So,
This is facilities oriented or
it's
cultural
both.
and facilities?
It's both. So it's behavioral and it's facilities. And, but the thing is, the reason why there are so many actions is that we break it out step by step. We really break, so it's very granular, and we give you the resources and the links to every way that you can take the action. We also have created a greenhouse gas emissions inventory tool. So you input data for your energy use, you know, waste, water, transportation, etc., and it will calculate your costs and your emissions. So it's very, and then you do a final report. So it's a whole program you can really learn about on the website, not really the focus of today, but it's really...
I didn't need to do it.
No. But that's, I figured that might come up, so these are our, can you believe how amazing these organizations are? They were in the pilot, and I'm going to have, and then these are the organizations that are now in the fall session that just started. So we have some very large and very small organizations that are in the program. So these are the nonprofits that are in the challenge and certified. 13 of those 26 are nonprofits. I'm sorry, 13 of the 26 are in the certification program, which is pretty amazing. So like 13 organizations have decided that they really want to be very serious about addressing sustainability. And it's not surprising to us. Because why? Why are nonprofits addressing sustainability? It aligns with your mission to serve people and protect the planet. I also work for a nonprofit for the past 11 years. I've been a development director, so I have that other hat, and I totally understand the alignment. Like maybe you're doing something totally different, but this makes sense to me. Promotes lean operations, saves you money, reduces emissions, earns donor and stakeholder respect. There's an opportunity for teamwork. So if you decide that you're going to go for, you know, certification or even the challenge, we're encouraging a green team program where you can engage your staff, your stakeholders in a team-based approach. You'll gain recognition as leaders in your sector, and we would encourage you to collaborate with each other. I mean, nonprofit Westchester is just the greatest concept because you're already a sector that's come together within the county, and then maybe through Joanna's organization, the nonprofits that are in the program can collaborate with this work. So that is really all I wanted to say today because I want Scott to get a fabulous panel up here, and this is the contact information, and you can maybe quickly jot that down.
Going to jump right into this, and instead of reading lengthy bios of all of our impressive panelists, I just want them to briefly introduce themselves, who they are, what organization they work for, and how they fit into the nonprofit world, or how they engage with the nonprofit world, because not everyone works directly at a nonprofit. So why don't we start here on the left with Joanna Stroud from Nonprofit Westchester.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here this morning. We're very happy to be sort of co-coordinating this event this morning. I am with an organization called Nonprofit Westchester, which is a fairly new nonprofit membership organization in the county, working to really bring the nonprofit community together in a myriad ways in order to improve how people see the nonprofit sector, in order to advocate for the needs of the nonprofit sector, and to build the capacity of the nonprofit sector. And we're all about collaboration and working together to achieve these goals. So, I'll stop there.
Thank you. Jill Davis from Henry Hudson.
Well, I could not possibly have a long bio. I am the director of the Hendrick Hudson Free Library, which is in Montrose. Thank you. And we are a member of the Green Business Challenge, and we've spent the last year kind of putting some things into effect at the library. And we are very small, so we kind of represent those people who think they can't do anything, but they really can.
I'm Ann Jaffe Holmes here at the Greenburgh Nature Center for 8 years as staff, and my colleagues and I welcome you all here. We're so glad that you're here. And after the program, again, we will be glad to do a green tour of our operations here. Just wanted to say that the Greenburgh Nature Center not only relies on our corporate sponsors, for which we're grateful, but we collaborate constantly with nonprofits of all types to do volunteer programs where we incorporate your members or your service population in our programs, in our teaching, and our land maintenance. We also collaborate to create programs with other nonprofits like T-Town, the Westchester Land Trust, and the New Jersey Trail Conference. And so if anybody in the room is interested in working with us with your populations or with programs, please contact me.
Thanks, Ann.
I'm Dani Glaser. I'm the founder of a company called Green Team Spirit. So I work with governments and businesses, helping them with programs just like we described, addressing sustainability from soup to nuts. I'm also a development director for Early Steps in New York City.
Melissa.
Thanks. My name is Alyssa Roth. I'm here representing Energize New York. We are a nonprofit that provides support and guidance in working with different energy efficiency incentive programs, both Con Ed and NYSERDA, which is the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. And we have found that one of the biggest barriers for nonprofits and all corporations in entering into those incentive programs is access to capital to move forward with energy efficiency and renewable improvements. So we also offer very low cost financing to do energy reduction projects.
Thank you. So I thought we could start with just sort of painting the bigger picture of the nonprofit sector in Westchester. So Joanna, I know you didn't go into it too much, but obviously it's a very large and important sector in Westchester. It's very diverse. We saw the list of companies that are in our program, but you work with many more than that. So I was hoping you could describe some of the types of companies in the nonprofit world and your experience working with them and sort of types of services they provide and the impact on our local economy.
Sure, thank you. Nonprofit Westchester was formed under the concept that 501c3 is not just a tax status. It is more than that, that we are all working towards, all these organizations are working towards the end goal of what we call a more just and caring community. That's our mission. And so, within our membership, we have a little over 90 member organizations that have officially joined us, and they range from places like Phelps Hospital and Northern Westchester Hospital, which are very large healthcare organizations, to small organizations like Song Catchers that are the small but mighty. It's like Sister Beth, teaching music lessons to in a small setting, a small group setting. So there's such a diversity of the type of organizations that are in the sector. But what's really interesting is we just recently in the spring did a study in conjunction with, or commissioned a study from Johns Hopkins University that demonstrated a couple things. First of all, that the nonprofit sector is the largest employment sector in the county, larger than any other employment sector at all. So a lot of times people thinking about jobs and saving jobs and how do we, there's a ton of jobs. There's 54,000 people in Westchester County working in nonprofit organizations. It's 13.6% of the workforce. So it's a huge part of our population, a huge part of the local economy, ranging all over the place. Like I said, from the big healthcare organizations, there's larger social service nonprofits like WJCS and Family Services of Westchester, down to the smaller Hudson Writers Center is a member organization. They're doing all sorts of things. Greenburgh Nature Center, where we're sitting, is a member organization. T-Town is a member organization. So there's a huge breadth and scope of the nonprofit sector, which makes it very interesting to work with.
So that diversity, I guess, presents some challenges, but also some opportunities. But as Dani pointed out in her intro, many of these organizations have the focus of improving the community, providing vital services. So they might not be focused on the environment, but maybe running a green business and being sustainable is aligned with that mission. Do you think they're more likely to embrace sustainability just because of their focus on quality of life in Westchester?
You know, I think, frankly, that we're a bunch of do-gooders, you know, in the nonprofit sector, and we want to make the world a better place. And sometimes it's a matter of just pointing out to people that this is an opportunity that they can take advantage of. I think one of the challenges in the nonprofit sector is that there are so many, there's so much to do on such, they're running on such thin margins. Nobody has any excess staff at all. In fact, we're usually working on negative staffing. And so the challenge is to make it accessible and easy, because otherwise it's not going to happen. People are just going to be overwhelmed and not look at it. So that's the challenge.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So I want to shift now to Ann and Jill. You both represent organizations that are in the WGBC, but are also in our certified program. So I thought you could just give the audience some information about how you got involved in our programs, why you decided to join our programs, and what your experience has been, especially in certified, since it's a bit more in depth and it's what you've been working on recently. So if you could just give us some information about the process.
Sure. Okay. Well, I can say that probably one of the catalysts for me is I have a son who is an environmental fanatic. So the first thing he did was had my entire house re-insulated through the Energize New York program. So that was my first introduction to, he's graduated from college and now he's home to torture me. Then Dan is one of my patrons, and I've known her for a while, and she's offered this program to us at the library and said, why don't you hop in, it's a pilot program, you know, it's good, first library in Westchester, you can then be, you can show the other libraries how easy it can, you know, changes can be made. So that was the second thing. Then, I guess we did this, the scorecard is the first thing that you have to do. Then we started the program, but I had to get board approval. So my library is an association library. So we run like a corporation. We're not a municipal library. We're not a school district library. So kind of my board is the boss of everything. So they were really good. They said, hey, if you want to do this, if you got the staff who can do it, you go right ahead. So we jumped in head first, and it's been a great ride. We've done a lot of things. I mean, the mission of a library is education. Libraries have always been on the forefront of offering, you know, new technologies. You know, we had the first computers that public could come in and use for free. You know, they cost $10,000. Nobody thought anybody would ever have them in their house, and now everybody's walking around with them in their pockets. We are on the forefront of, you know, wireless printing, 3D printers. You know, people say 3D printers, who needs a 3D printer? But I bet in 10 years, everybody will have them in their house, and where will they have been introduced to it? In the library. So I think that we make a perfect partner for this, because people come to us looking for new ideas and ways that they can accomplish that. And we're also very frugal. You'll find libraries, we penny pinch everything. You know, we are looking to get the most out of every dollar, because, you know, our budgets are very small in comparison with a lot of other parts of the sector. Right. So for us, it was a great match. It was a challenge. We found ways. I have to say, we do a lot. When we first sat down with the whole, you know, certification, we said, hey, we do that, we do that, we do that. So then we moved on, you know, to the next level. And then, of course, you know, maybe we'll get into it later, but they're the dreams of what is the next thing that we might be able to do. So that's...
You know, that's great. And you're also part of a very large, as you know, Westchester library system is huge. So we're obviously, one of our hopes is that they will serve as an example, and the impacts will spread as more libraries around the county join the program.
And we are on the, you know, that's what libraries do. We're the first ones, you know, we have collaborative services already. We transport millions of books around the county every year. And nobody knows what's happening behind that. So it's, you know, it's something that we're good at.
And you want to talk a little bit about Greenburgh Nature Center?
I think the way in which and the reason for which the Greenburgh Nature Center jumped on board immediately when we heard about the Westchester Green Business Challenge certification program a lot of you will be able to relate to it. We were founded in 1975 when the town and the Audubon Society and the community worked together to purchase this land to preserve it for wildness and for the purpose of education and people experiencing nature right here in our urbanized area. Our mission at the time was preservation of our wildness, education, research, and community enrichment through large events that gathered people on the land. We immediately started developing huge amounts of, well, over time, since 1975, programming for schools and families and, and the community, and just lots going on, and an increasing amount of things going on. It wasn't until sustainability became a conscious catchword that some of us on the staff began to realize, like, whoa, we're doing all this and we're so busy with our programming and what we do, but we're losing thread with the problems that gets created from all this different kind of activity that we're constantly busy with in Westchester. So when Dani and Scott created this certification process, I immediately jumped on board because our staff, we're full of people that love nature, that understand nature, that teach nature, that live with nature, but they haven't been able to focus on the threats that have developed to nature over time and sustainability issues, which requires a whole other set of education, a whole way of thinking that actually when you've been busy just teaching nature in the wild, you may not have been plugged into. So anyway, this program has enabled me and my staff to get focused. And also, I think a lot of you will relate to this as well. The boards of nonprofits, they always are people who are dedicated and devoted and love the purpose for which your organization exists. But they aren't always really deeply educated about your mission. And sustainability was taken on as a part of our mission, I think, what, Penny, 5 years ago? Something like that. And our board members, too, they need a lot of education about sustainability and what that means for us as an organization and what it means for people that we serve. So this Green Business Challenge certification program has been a huge boon to our organization in helping us get focused and take the time to get ourselves moving as a unit towards sustainability.
Thank you. So I think one area that, there's a common theme among nonprofits, that ability to focus on specific issues related to sustainability. And one area that I think causes a lot of confusion for nonprofits and for-profits alike is the area of financing and how do we do all of this? How do we put the building blocks in place to actually implement some of these sustainability projects? So, Alyssa, I know you wear a few different hats and you're familiar with the landscape of NYSERDA and ConEd and various programs. Can you comment a little bit on some of the programs that are available to nonprofits that are looking to take the next step and actually implement some of these things?
Yeah, definitely. So we're talking a lot about the environment, which is wonderful, but really when it comes down to it, this is a way, reducing your energy usage is a way to reduce your capital expenditures. It's a way to maximize your budget and be environmentally friendly at the same time. So really what we're talking about here is an economic benefit as well as an environmental benefit. So there's lots of programs that are available specifically to the nonprofit sector for reducing your energy usage, or even looking at renewables like solar or geothermal or sometimes even wind. NYSERDA, which I mentioned before, is the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. Is it okay if I just ask how many people are familiar with that or heard of worked with them before? Okay, awesome. So everyone here is pretty educated about that. So there's lots of different programs that NYSERDA offers to help you not only save energy, but then provide an incentive for you to go through those programs. And ConEd has similar programs as well. Where we come in is helping you figure out what that right program would be for you, find a certified and accredited contractor, some are actually here today, that can assist you with doing an energy audit, figuring out how much energy you're using now and what the most cost-effective upgrades would be to save you energy. And then also, where we come in a bigger way, is financing that project. The reason our financing is unique and different from a typical lending facility is because we are a local development corporation. We're a nonprofit. We are not out there to make a profit off of your financing. We are here to provide a public benefit. So we have very long-term, very low-cost financing that is actually facilitated by the municipality in which you live, in where your business is located. We do need to work with the property owners, however. So you need to either be the owner of the property you are occupying or have a great relationship with that property owner. And what I really am excited to tell you about is a special opportunity for a limited time offered by Westchester County called Qualified Energy Conservation Bonds. On October 16th, Westchester County is going to start offering a subsidy for 70% of our interest rate to only nonprofits and affordable housing in Westchester County. So if you are thinking about making energy upgrades or solar renewables and you are looking for capital, there are some property owners here today that are actually going to be submitting for that, so you can maybe talk to them about it, you can talk to me about it, but that's a shorter timeline to think about.
Repeat the name, please.
So it's called QECBs, and you would apply for that through Energize New York once you have a project that's qualified for financing.
Can you talk a little bit about options for tenants and those that don't own property? Do you have any programs in your arsenal, or can you mention NYSERDA offerings for those that don't own property, or is it really, are you just focused only on those that have direct control over the property and are managing the property?
We are working with permanent upgrades to the property. So it does need to be working with the property owner for most of our programs and their service programs.
So a big part of the way our program is structured, we have a lot of tenants in the Westchester Green Business Challenge, but we encourage and we provide tools to help you collaborate and work with your property manager or landlord. So ideally, when you're working on these projects, you're doing it in a collaborative environment, because we realize a lot of the actions we're recommending and the upgrades require the input and the direction of your property manager. So that's another example. I guess you would take advantage of the programs together, and work hopefully collaboratively. Okay, great. So I guess one other area I want to talk about is how we engage our employees around the topics of sustainability, and I guess this is directed to Dani or as the Green Team Spirit guru, but also to Jill and Ann, because as Joanna pointed out, there's 53,987 workers. You didn't give the actual number, but it's the largest sector in the economy in Westchester. So key to this is engaging employees around the topic of sustainability. So can you talk about ways, and Jill, you won our 2014 award for organizational commitment, which is a lot about employee engagement and getting the commitment from your leaders at your organization. What are some ways in which you can communicate with your employees about sustainability, and how do you make it relevant to everyone's job, even though they're not working directly on sustainability issues at the library?
Well, when we tackled that part of the challenge, I think I probably emailed Dani and said, I have 32 very part-time employees and 6 full-time employees. What am I going to do with the green team? And she said, oh, no, you can do the green team. So we did the survey, and I was very, very surprised. People really care about this topic. You might not know it when you see them, but boy, when you send them a survey, they answer the questions, and it was kind of an eye-opener for me. So then I said, okay, well, let's put together a green team. Well, I had people. If you could have knocked me over, because I never would have thought some of the people who volunteered to be on the green team would have volunteered to be on the green team. I thought they would have been the ones behind the scenes saying, what, is she out of her mind? So we formed a green team, which was great. We also we implemented it in pretty much every part of our policy. Our policy to the public, our policy for staff, our policy, my review process, and also job descriptions. We put some sort of a green initiative sustainability portion in that. And then everybody received a new job description, and everybody knew that they were going to be part of that. We also have the green team meets quarterly, just to go over what we've been doing and what we think we might be able to do in the future. And we have a green team. We have a website where we post tips, and we keep the public up to date with the projects that we've undertaken and completed. I'm trying to think what else we do. I think that's about it. But like I said, I was very surprised that so many of the staff really cared about doing this.
That's something that we found over and over again. You don't know unless you ask, right? So we put together a survey as part of our program that you can just send out to your employees, and you get that data back right away. And people just, you know, raise their hand and that might be the leader of your
I just
organization's
want
green
to
team.
just say quickly, I mean, that's music to my ears, what you just said. So Green Team Spirit, and Yana Petrakova is my partner with Green Team Spirit. We have it, and on the Westchester Green Business Challenge, I'd like to introduce her as well. So from the beginning, Green Team Spirit has had this survey. So the first tenet has been leadership has to be committed, and the next thing that happens is that this survey goes out to all staff, and it's the same survey pretty much that we're using for this program. And knock you over every single time we say, no, don't decide who's going to be on the green team, let them raise their hand. And so, and that is inevitably what happens, and it's so much more robust because you're offering, you know, your staff to, you know, let you know that they're interested, that they want to be part of this, and they all, you know, feel very empowered by having that kind of participation.
And I think too that you don't realize that you may get the person who's normally, you know, the one who's walking around saying, you know, don't do that, and now all of a sudden they're part of the team,
Right.
and now they're not doing that, so like everything kind of, you know,
Yeah,
works.
it's human nature. I'm sure you've all experienced it. And when you let people in and tell everybody that sustainability is not, you know, one person's job, it's everybody's, you know, then that's how it really works.